Your dreams don't feel impossible because they are. They feel impossible because no one told you the cost. The cost isn't money, it isn't time, it's the old you. Neville called it dying to the old man. And the question is, will you pay? Let's talk about why your dream life demands this death and how to finally make the shift. To live the life you've always dreamed of, you must first be willing to die. And no, I'm not talking about a physical death. I'm talking about the death of the person you are right now, and likely the person you've been for most or all of your life. Because that person, which is a collection of masks, habits, fears, and assumptions, you've mistakenly accepted as the real you. You've mistakenly become identified with this collection of masks, habits, fears, assumptions, which were never yours to begin with. And this is the single biggest thing standing between you and everything you desire to have in your reality. That identity is the jailer of a prison you don't even know that you're in. Let's be real. The person you are today is comfortable. It's automatic. It's unconscious. Your current identity, even if it's unhappy or unfulfilled, is familiar. It's comfy. It's cozy. It fits. It's what you know and what you have always known, and it has built a very sophisticated and invisible cage around you. This cage isn't made of steel bars, it's made of assumptions, masks, habits, limiting beliefs. The assumptions that you are not good enough, not smart enough, not ready, not worthy, not capable. It's a cage built from the conditioning of your environment or society or both. The ghost of every past failure and every limiting inner conversation or failure you've ever had or experienced on repeat. This old you is the one who sets an alarm to wake up early, but then hits the snooze 5 times and doesn't get up. This is the you who swears you'll start a new project, but then finds a brilliant reason to put it off endlessly. This is the you that feels this flash of inspiration. You're lit up from within, that call to do something magnificent and wonderful and fully express, it's a full expression of yourself, only to have that nagging inner whisper, who do you think you are? And it talks yourself right out of it before you even get started, which then only solidifies the old identity more and more. This version of you is a master of self-sabotage, running on an endless loop of old thoughts and knee-jerk reactions. It's terrified of the unknown, so it craves the familiar, even if the familiar is painful. This old identity is not your friend. It's the guardian of your comfort zone, and its only job is to keep you exactly where you are and where you've always been. As long as you keep answering and obeying its rules, you'll stay a prisoner of your own past assumptions. So, what's the price you keep paying for this old self to stay alive? It's that quiet, gnawing weight of unfulfilled potential, unlived dreams, and failed attempts at creating the life that you love. Every single day you choose to stay the same, you're paying that tax. You're paying that price. You're sacrificing the joy, the success, and the reality that's waiting for you. It's already yours, and it's waiting for you just on the other side. That new life you want can't show up because the space it needs is currently occupied by the old you. And here's the tough part. Your old self will not go quietly. It won't go without a fight. As Neville warned, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot keep these two identities simultaneously. You cannot long for a new future while clinging to your old identity, waiting for some proof or evidence that it's okay for you to align with your new identity. The evidence will never come if you don't go first. You always have to go first, as I like to say on this channel. Your ego, which is designed to protect your old identity, by the way, will use fear, doubt, procrastination like weapons against you to stay in control. It will play a highlight reel of your past failures to convince you that trying is pointless anyway. Your new life is going to cost you your old one, plain and simple. As Neville said, you must be willing to give up what you are now in order to be what you want to be. The real question is, how much longer are you willing to pay this devastating price, this devastatingly high price of staying where you currently are in your comfort zone? So now I want to highlight the main teachings from Neville about identity. Neville taught that in order to be reborn into the life you desire, you must first kill the old man being your old identity. And yes, that language is stark and it's strong for a reason. It demands radical decision. It isn't about self-improvement. It's a complete identity demolition, a psychological death, and it may feel like that at times. It's a complete giving up of all the falsehoods, the wrong identities and ideas you've been carrying with you for years and maybe even decades, to allow it all to die completely. Neville taught that this old man isn't your true self, even if it's been with you for your entire lifetime. It isn't your true self. It's, again, a collection of beliefs, assumptions, and, ideas, programming, conditioning, as I've continued to say again and again in this video. It's a collection of these beliefs. It's a collection of ideas. It's a state of consciousness that you've been living in. It's a role you've been playing. For so long, you've forgotten it's just a costume. You think it's your skin. You think it's who you are, but really it's just something temporary that you've laid on top of yourself and mistakenly become identified with. To kill the old man means to consciously disengage from that identity. It's the act of emotionally detaching from the story of who you've been, so you can fully step into the story of who you are becoming. Neville said, disengage yourself from the whole vast belief that you formerly entertained and hold on in your imagination to the concept that you are the man or woman that you want to be. This isn't an act of violence. It's an act of self-love. It's an act of liberation. It's an act of freeing yourself from something that you never chose in the first place. You don't fight the old self. You simply withdraw your attention from it. You let it starve. So how do we do this? How do we let the old self die so the new one can be reborn or born for the first time? It happens through a disciplined, conscious process. And I'm going to outline now the 3 important steps in this process. Number 1, first, you have to identify the old man. You have to become a detective. You have to become familiar. You have to get to know this old man, this old identity. You have to look at it and see exactly what it is. What are your signature assumptions? What are your specific limiting beliefs that you run on? Write them down. Here's some examples. I'm someone who always procrastinates. I'm not worthy of a great relationship. I never have enough money. You see, you can't release the prisoner if you haven't identified it. See these patterns for what they are. Simply old programming, habits, ideas, concepts. not your fixed identity. You have to first understand yourself and know where you're starting from. Through honesty and non-judgment and honest self-reflection, without this first step, your efforts will be completely thwarted. You don't know even where you're starting from. So it's going to be random and it's not going to be as effective. You have to understand, again, this is step number 1. You have to identify and understand the old man that you're killing. Number 2, the second step, we go on a strict mental diet. Now, let me clarify what is meant by mental diet, because I see this all the time. People get this wrong. They misunderstand exactly what a mental diet is. So by mental diet, and this is the way Neville teaches it, I don't just mean constant repetition of your chosen affirmations. This is where a lot of people get this wrong. It's not about vain repetition, as Neville calls it. The old self only survives because you feed it with your attention. You allow the old man, the assumptions of the old man, to still play out, to still run the show, to still control you and dictate how you operate in the world. And you allow it to still exist rather than cutting it off every time it pops up. When that familiar negative thought pops up, I'm probably going to fail again, for an example. You don't fight it, you don't argue with it, and you don't feed it. You also don't believe it. You also don't let it, sweep you away. None of those things are killing the old man. What do you do instead? You observe it. You simply decide that you've chosen something new, you've chosen something different, and you disidentify with that old, familiar limiting belief. And this is what Neville calls a mental diet. So in this way, you're starving out the old identity. You don't fight it, you don't react to it, and you don't believe it. Any of those things are the opposite of starving it. Every time you refuse to engage with a limiting thought or a familiar fear, you are pulling a brick from the wall of that prison. You're pulling it out brick by brick. You're letting the old man die, one starved thought at a time. Step number 3. And this is the game changer. But of course, we can't get to step number 3 without step number 1 and number 2. So step number 3 is you assume the new self. This is the law of assumption in action. Your dream life requires a new version of you to live it. Who is that person? How do they think? How do they feel? How do they act? You have to start living from that identity right now. This is what Neville called living from the end. You don't ask, how do I get my dream? You ask, how would I be thinking if my dream was already here, already present, already a reality? Because it is. You don't just visualize your goal for 5 minutes. You walk, talk, and make decisions as if it is already a done deal, because it is. This isn't about being fake. It's about being faithful to a reality you can't yet see with your eyes. With every action that aligns with this new identity, you're impressing upon your subconscious mind that the old man is gone and someone new is in charge. If this message is sparking something within you, be sure to like this video. And if you need some help in identifying just what your old identity is for you that has you imprisoned in that cage that you haven't been able to break out of, that's exactly what my coaching is for. I help you clearly see the old identity, where it came from, so that you can easily disengage from it and easily put on your new chosen identity. And this is when manifestation becomes effortless, because you're living from that new identity. You'll find the link for my coaching in the description below and in the pinned comment below. And I'm going to remind you of this. A caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by gluing on some wings. It doesn't just jump to step 3, does it? No. It has to completely dissolve. It has to become a chaotic soup before it can reform into something that can fly. It has to die to its old life to be born into its new one. And the same is true for you. The person you are right now, the one defined by your past, your conditioning, your learned masks and fears, cannot take you where you are truly meant to go and where you want to go. That person has served their purpose. Thank them for the lessons and perhaps the protection, and then have the courage to let that identity, that person go. Your new life is not something you chase. It's someone you become. It's not about what you have to do to get your dreams. It's about who you have to be, as Neville taught. Change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. One of my absolute favorite quotes from Neville. Stop telling your old story. Stop feeding the old identity. The process of letting go will cost you things from your past, absolutely. But what it gives you in return is everything that you want, everything that you desire. So die to the old you, die to the doubt, die to the fear, and be reborn into the magnificent reality that has been waiting for you, has always been there all along. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave me a comment down below. Be sure to like the video. I'll see you in the next one.